I'm Diwata. I was a senior when Columbine happened. I was in the library. I saw one of my friends die and everyone else shot around me. We had just decided to go to the library for our lunch period, and we heard the librarian talking, saying something that just seemed like unreal, almost like there's two boys with guns outside. And so we all looked at each other, and I remember Lauren turning and asking whether or not this was a joke and if it was a senior prank. And, you know, it's not really funny at all. I just remember her saying, it's not really funny at all. And I just remember this librarian saying, everyone get underneath the table. Everyone get under the table now. When they entered the library, I started praying. I mean, that's the only thing I knew to fall back on was the faith that I grew up with. So I remember saying the Our Father when I heard the gunshots coming in through the library and the glass being shattered around. I remember when they were getting closer to our table that I just kept praying harder and harder and looking around under the table and just, I mean, it was this mixture of like unbelief and like fear and is this really like occurring right now? And I remember Val running from the table and I was like, oh my gosh, what is she doing right now? I don't know what's happening right now. And when she came back into the table and they ricocheted all underneath our table, I mean, just went for it with all the gunshots under our table. And after they were done with our table, and I felt myself, and I was like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm all right. And I remember just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do now? What do I do? I'm looking at my friends. Lauren's not waking up. I'm seeing what everyone else is doing, and everyone seems like they're not moving, they're not waking up. And I don't know how long it was before we could hear that we could get out somehow. Someone was saying that the back door of the library was open, or it's time to go now. And we were at one of the furthest parts probably from that door, able to get out. And I remember seeing Gina, and she was hurt. And I said, we gotta get out right now. This is the only way we gotta go. We gotta get out right now. She's like, I can't move. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, but we gotta go. We gotta just get out of there. Like, what are we gonna do? We have to leave. And so I just remember, I bolted out of there. I just smoke. And my classmates and backpacks and just, this was my school. And I don't even know how much longer later, I saw Gina coming out a little bit longer. And I remember her in the neighborhood, and she was lying on the sidewalk, and she was telling me to remember to just tell my mom and dad that I love them. And I said, no, I won't. You are gonna tell them that. Nope, this is not gonna happen. I do remember that photo. She was asking me about Lauren in that photo and whether or not she made it. And at the time I didn't know for sure. I was not 100%. I said, she's not moving. I don't remember freshman. I don't remember my sophomore year. I don't remember my junior year. I don't remember graduating, barely. I remember Columbine. I was really angry at God, really upset, just why was I still alive? Why didn't I get hurt? Why am I still here? And I remember sitting in one of my classrooms and hearing some laughter happening at whatever corner in the classroom, and I was like, how can you even find joy in this very moment in time when this awful thing has happened? I mean, there definitely is survivor guilt, which I felt. I still feel. It's palpable, it's real. It was, why didn't I stand up when Val was up there? Why didn't I put myself in front of the gun instead? Why didn't I roll my body over Lauren? Why didn't I pull Gina out with me? It was more of like punishment, essentially, because I wasn't injured at the time. And maybe it still is a little bit, because I didn't have to go through hospitalizations, or I didn't have to, bury my daughter. I didn't have to go through this other side of the trauma. You're a young person, you went through a terrible trauma, these counselors are available for you, you should go talk to someone, you should go seek someone out. But being able to do that, I think I just wasn't in that place, nor did I also feel like whether or not I was ready to open myself up like that at that point in time, because I wasn't even ready to talk to the people closest to me. So let alone a stranger to try to help me or walk me through those emotions that I was feeling as a young person. So I do remember that my parents would ask me occasionally like how things were and what happened and whether or not I was okay with talking to them about what had happened. And I actually started speaking out in different church groups or church conferences that my parents were involved in to kind of, I think for me, it helped for my own healing, and it also helped them see what I had gone through. It was probably months after, weeks after, and I remember them just saying, is it okay for us to pray for you when we do our group tonight? Is that okay? And I think it was in that moment that I opened up to them and everyone else that was there when they were praying for my healing. I did not ever go to counseling. I do feel like my faith has probably been the backbone of helping me to recover or continue to recover or whatever you want to call it. And I mean, it was slow. I mean, like I said, I was angry. I used hate a lot. I was not in a good place when everything happened. And I think from what my parents had instilled in me, from what I grew up with, that's what I knew to fall back on. I mean, I was saying the Our Father while I was there. I was like, was that what protected me? You know, there was a sense of I was being protected. And I mean, whether you believe that or not, that's what I believe because I have that faith. And so it was a slow process of realizing that I could heal and continue to heal. It did affect my relationships in the beginning for sure, because I was pushing away the people that were closest to me. And probably why I don't keep in touch with a lot of people from Columbine now. In the beginning, we really did. I mean, it was, I feel like a feeling of just camaraderie and community. I mean, never discussing the event because we all knew, we all had our own story. We all were affected in a different way. And then what was hard with our class is because we were seniors. So it was hard to stay together with those, I think, people that we were close with because college changes a lot of us or all of us. And when we all went our separate ways, I remember when I was talking to Mr. D, he was like, yours was the class that, didn't get closure almost, I think is what he said. And I thought about that and I said, you're right. I mean, I have never gone back into that school willingly, like on my own. The 2 times that I went back there, I didn't see the library. I couldn't bring myself to go back up there to see what it looked like. And I went there for my sister because she was still there and she had plays or musicals that she was a part of. And I remember being really anxious the first time walking into the school. Anytime a shooting has happened, that hits me right back. It hits me right back with everything that happened in Columbine. I don't know what those people are going through with that particular situation because I only know my own. But I can fully understand and feel what that person is feeling like crouching down or there's the table or behind a movie theater seat or by a tree. Like I can feel what they're feeling almost. Lactation support, this is Diwata. So I definitely did become a nurse because of Columbine. More specifically, because when I saw Gina, who was my very good friend at the time, injured, and I remember just breaking down at the hospital when we visited her, and she was like, "I'm fine, I'm okay." And I was just watching these nurses and the medical team, like going in there and caring for her and taking care of them, taking care of her, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to be someone who takes care of someone else when they can't do it themselves. Because I survived, there's a reason why I survived. Yeah. Because I survived, I'm a stronger person. Because I survived, my daughter is here, my son is here, I'm married, I have people around me that love me, I'm God-fearing. Because I survived, I have something to do in this world.